All right, let's take a look at this differential equation question. Part A says that we have water that is leaking out of a hole at the side of an upright cylindrical barrel. The height of the water surface h meters above the hole t seconds after the water has started leaking is modeled by this first order differential equation dH over dt equal to minus a square root h. That means we have a container with water and the water is actually leaking out. So therefore, the height is actually decreasing. And initially, the water surface is 1 meters above the hole. Part 1 wants us to verify that the solution to this differential equation is given by h equal to 1 minus half at whole thing squared. Let us just write down the information given by the question first. We have this first order differential equation, dH dt is equal to minus a square root h. And we are also given that initially water surface is 1 meters. That means to say when h equal to 1, t equal to 0. Our objective for the first part is to verify that the solution is given to be h equal to 1 minus half at squared. My first impression when I read this question is, probably I might need to solve this using a variable separable. That means to bring this square root h to the left hand side, then we will just integrate both sides with respect to time. And hopefully after solving this equation, we should be able to get this particular general solution. But let's pause for a moment. Actually, do we really need to solve this using variable separable? I don't think we even need to solve this expression because look at the question here. The question actually is asking for verify. And when the question asks us to verify, there's a difference between asking us to solve a question or to prove a question. Let's say, for example, if we have an equation given to be x to the power of 4 minus 2x cubed plus x minus 2 equal to 0. If the question wants us to verify that x equal to 2 is the root of this expression, I don't think I need to do a remainder factor theorem or factorization to solve for the root. If they want us to verify x equal to 2 is a root, I'll just simply consider the left hand side, sub x equal to 2. Here, I will have a 2 to the power of 4 minus 2 times 2 to the power of 3 plus 2 minus 2, which give me equal to 0, which is the same as the right hand side. Just by doing this, I already verified that x equal to 2 is a root already. Similarly, for this case, this is the final expression I need to have. I can just make use of this answer and differentiate this. And as long as I can show that this, after differentiation, I'll get this, then it's all right already. So let's try to differentiate this respect to time. We have a dH over dt. This I'll get 2 bracket 1 minus half at to the power of 1. Differentiate inside again, we have a minus half a. And this 2 we can just cancel away first. And the final expression is with a square root h. That means no time component in this expression. I will just need to do a replacement for this particular term here, which I can make use of this because this is the same as this. So I just square root over to the left hand side. I'll get a square root h equal to 1 minus half at. This is not necessary for us to put a plus minus because we are dealing with a height, and height must always be a positive value. So after doing replacement here, I'll just get a square root h bracket minus a. We just rewrite this properly. So we have a minus a square root h, which is the same as this. So therefore, verify. That's the reason why the question only gives us 1 mark for this part. Right, let's move on to the second part of this question. And we are given that the water stopped leaking after 20 seconds when h equal to 0. So all the water is being leaked out already. I will know that h equal to 0, t equal to 20. And part 2 wants us to find the value of a first, and hence find the time when h equal to 0.5 meters. Let's find the value of the unknown a first. I'm probably going to make use of this expression. I'm going to sub in this value to find my unknown a. I find that actually this information is useless to find A because when you sub t equal to 0 inside, you'll just get 1 on the right hand side. And this you sub h equal to 1, so 1 equal to 1, it doesn't really help us to find the unknown A. So we are going to make use of this information here. Subbing this value, I will get equal to 0 equal to 1 minus half A. This is 20, right? So the whole thing square. Solving, right, I will just get A equal to 1 over 10. So therefore, I will have my particular solution, which is given to be H equal to bracket 1 minus, subbing A 1 over 10 inside here, we will have 1 over 20t squared. And the question also asks us find a time when H equal to 0.5. So time equal to, this is what we need to find, when H equal to 0.5. I'll just simply sub in this value here, 0.5 equal to 1 minus 1 over 20t squared. Maybe I'll just rewrite this into a fraction, so it's just like half, 1 minus 1 over 20 t squared. Right, square root over to the left hand side, 1 over square root 2 equal to 1 minus 1 over 20. Right, we'll just try to make t in terms of the rest of the values. So we have 1 over 20t equal to 1 minus 1 over square root 2. And therefore, t will be equal to 20 multiplied by 1 over square root 2 equal to 20 square root 2 minus 1 over square root 2. All right, so this will be my final answer. But actually, in fact, we don't really need to solve this in terms exactly because the question did not ask for exact form. So actually, from this step, it's pretty okay just to key in this expression into calculator, then just ask our calculator to work out the answer for the time, which happens to be a decimal value, but it's perfectly fine for this part of this question. Let's continue with part B of this question. For part B, it's not actually linked to the previous part, so we are going to do this question independently. So we have this second order differential equation, and the question asks us to determine the general solution of this and to express our final answer to be x in terms of t. So for second order differential equation, we are not expected to use any weird kind of techniques. All we need to do is just to integrate this twice. For this case, since the variable is t, we are going to integrate this with respect to time twice. And we will expect to have two arbitrary constants because integrate once we have one unknown, integrate twice we will expect to have two unknowns. So for this case, this is an expression that we can make use of our MF27. We have this formula given in our formula list, which is 1 over square root a squared minus x squared dx, and we will get a sine inverse x over a plus c. So after doing an integration once, we will get a dx over dt equal to a sine inverse. This I'm going to make it like a square root 3 whole thing square. So we'll have a t over square root 3 plus c. As for integrating another time for a inverse trigo function, we are not able to make use of any standard formulas. For this integration, we got to make use of our integration by parts. So for integration by parts, for this particular case, we have to imagine there's like a 1 in front. And we will be assigning the u and dv dx to be either of this expression and this. For this case, it's quite clear-cut. We are supposed to assign u to be this. So u will be equal to sine inverse t over square root 3. And we will assign our dv over, probably I'm not going to use dx because now the variable here we are dealing with is t. So we will just consider as a dt here, and this is equal to 1. We will just need to find the corresponding this v and the du over dt in this case. So du over dt, for this differentiation of this, I know you differentiate again because I know that integrate this, I get this. So differentiate this, of course, I will just get back the original one. So it's 1 over square root 3 minus t squared. And this, if we integrate with respect to t, I'll just get a t. So now we can just plug these values into this formula here. I will end up with t sine inverse t over square root 3 minus integration of t. So this, which is a 1 over square root 3 minus t squared dt plus ct, and don't forget to put a plus d, right? So for this, we are going to simplify a bit more. So we will have a t sine inverse t over square root 3 minus, for this particular expression, we should try to consider the basic standard form first, which it happens to be the f prime x fx to the power n form, because we can just rearrange it into this form, t times 3 minus t squared to power of minus half dt plus ct plus d. So this we can see that actually this is like a f prime t, and this will be my f t to be the power of n. So by differentiating this, I will get a minus 2t. So I will want to have a minus 2t here. So I can just imagine I will be adding an extra minus half outside. Then I will be adding a minus 2 inside. So I will end up with a t sine inverse t over square root 3. Then it will just be like a plus half integrate minus 2t, 3 minus t squared power of minus half dt plus ct plus d. Right, so now we can just integrate this directly using the standard formula already. T sine inverse t over square root 3 plus half. So this will be a 3 minus t squared to power of minus to be a half, thereby half, plus ct plus d. And this half we can just cancel away. Right, so this will just be my final answer for my part B.